The second of the British manufacturers to come into the World Championship, Aston used their beefy V8 to power their new Challenger, latest in a long and honourable pedigree stretching back to 1959. Drivers for 89 are Brian Redman and David Leslie.
I'm Brian Redman, driving with the Aston Martin Lagonda team, and this is the first race for this Group C contender. In 3 weeks' time, we hope to be going to Le Mans, and what you see is a modern design of GT car. It has ground effect, that is the air going underneath the car, sucks it down onto the road, and you can vary that by changing the angle of the rear wing. The whole structure is a composite carbon fibre moulding. You can a graphite moulding. You can see the whole structure. There's no aluminium in it or steel. It's all graphite. This Aston Martin Lagonda engine is a 4-valve cylinder head, 6-litre, normally aspirated. It is not turbocharged or supercharged. It is fuel injected. Here you can see the fuel injection system on top. It is giving 700 horsepower, and it returns approximately 6 miles to the gallon under racing conditions. It revs very freely to 8,000 RPM, which is a great deal of speed for an engine of this size. So far, the engine has been tremendously reliable, and we're really delighted with it. Here we have the very large rear wing, and the wing simply doesn't act as you would think, with the air coming onto it, pressing the car down. It also speeds the exit of the air from underneath the car. So here we have a modern Group C contender in the Aston Martin Lagonda.
Nissan are in their first full World Championship season after contesting the Japanese Domestic Championship and Le Mans 3 times. The new R89-C is run by Nissan Motorsport Europe from England, with Britain's Julian Bailey and Mark Blundell the drivers, and team manager Keith Green, one of the most experienced in Group C. With more than 800 bhp on tap from its twin-turbo V8, much is expected of the Japanese motor giant's Challenger. And Bailey qualifies the car 6th, ahead of the Jaguars on the 36-car grid. The former Grand Prix driver describes the car.
Okay, this is the Lola Nissan that I drive. Just a brief run round of what we've got here. Front radiator. This panel is just for the fact that people are working on the car at the moment, not to drop any tools on it. These are the brake ducts, which cool the brakes. Wishbone suspension. Going round the car, we obviously have a windscreen wiper just in case it rains. Underneath this car we have a full ground effect underbody, which you can't see at the moment obviously. Coming into the cockpit, these in fact are the entry for the intercooler ducts from the front nose piece. The seat, well, we have to have a regular seat that fits all drivers, so it's a bit uncomfortable because we're all different sizes. The steering wheel in the car is detachable so that drivers can get in and out quickly. We have 2 buttons, one is for the radio and one is for the drinks bottle. It's very hot in this car, up to 50 centigrade, so you can dehydrate an awful lot in a 3-hour race. The black box we have here is a mini computer which gives us all sorts of information. We can flick through to get the oil temperature, the boost, and also the maximum speed we've got on the straight, maximum RPM, and back to the water temperature. Indicators, headlights, windscreen wiper, heated screen, and fog lights. Red buttons in case of a fire, it's the extinguisher. This button here is oil pressure. Coming to the rear of the car, this is the fuel tank which holds 100 litres. These are the intercoolers with an oil cooler behind them. Turbos and wastegate. The engine's a V8 3.5 litre twin turbo engine. We've got about 800 plus horsepower. Further back we have the oil tank, the Koni dampers and shock absorbers. Oil cooler on the rear of the gearbox to cool the oil down on the gearbox, and the hydraulic jacks. As you can see, the rear panels at the back are the underbody where we actually generate most of our downforce from.